Today is day 6, and what we're going to focus on here is selling at exhibitions. And this is the last step in the during phase of exhibiting at a trade show. And it's really, obviously, for obvious reasons, a really important one. But it's about the selling and how we go about selling. And where I want to begin with this particular point is, as a sales trainer, and I've been in sales for a long, long time, I started my career many years ago in Yellow Pages, where the logic was you ask lots and lots of questions and you talk lots about your product, and the person says yes. And that was many, many years ago. It was 30 odd years ago. Now, in today's world, our clients are far more savvy. They're far more aware, and they have far more choices than they ever did before. And they're much more conscious of benefits of buying or working with certain suppliers. So for me, selling has changed. I don't think sales has changed. I think selling has changed. And what we're going to focus on today is that people come to exhibitions to buy products and services. They don't come to be sold at. So what I would say is not selling is actually the new selling. And what we've got to do is find out more about their needs and really be able to deliver on their needs. So in this module, we're going to look at that. Now, where I want to begin when it comes to exhibitions is something I mentioned in the previous module. Exhibition selling is reactive. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, essentially, what I'm talking about here is we need to be much more reactive in terms of how we sell at exhibitions. Because if you take your day-to-day selling, let's say you're going out, you want to have an appointment with XYZ company. You know where they are, you know who they are, you know where they're based, you possibly know something about the company, you might know the person who you're going out to see, you might know about their budget, you might know lots and lots of things. But when it comes to exhibitions, you don't necessarily know anything, or probably don't know anything, about the buyer who's standing in front of you at that show. So you've got to be much more reactive and build a relationship and trust much, much quicker at exhibitions. And we do that, again, coming back to my example of icebreaker questions, of qualifying questions, of actually genuinely finding out more about this person. This person in front of you could be the best buyer in the world, or they could be the biggest time waster in the world. You won't know. So how you sell and how you approach selling has got to be very, very different than in day-to-day. You've got to have preparation done in advance. And what we focus on here is we talk about engaging first. Of course, we sell it ultimately, but we do that by looking at what the customer's needs are, by finding out more about what they want. We do it through rapport. We do it through building rapport with people. And essentially the word rapport, a French word, is about how we build and maintain relationships. Because at this trade show, we're not necessarily saying the person in front of us is going to walk away, going to give us a check or give us money and walk away. This is the start of the relationship. So we do that by asking really, really good questions, which promotes openness, relationships, and trust, which is exactly what we're trying to do. So it's really important that we have our questions or we have our thoughts well prepared in advance. We don't go there and wing it. It's all about relationships, because if you think about the first impressions matter, it's really, really important that we start that relationship in a very, very positive way. Now, what I would say to you about selling at exhibitions is, in my mind, and I work with thousands of exhibitors per year, particularly at trade shows, as opposed to consumer type shows. At trade shows, really what we're trying to do is we're trying to decide or engage with the client, first of all, but also to try and work on what is the next step. So we're actually more selling the next step rather than selling our products and services. So that might be an appointment after the show. It might be a Zoom call, a face-to-face call. It might be an email, whatever that might be. Because the relationship takes time to build. The sales take a little bit time to build. But that's a good thing, because that time invested means you will get a customer for a much longer period of time. So what I would say to you is it's not only about your product. It's also about selling the next step, because sales is a journey, not a destination. Really, really important distinction between those two things. So my key tip for selling at exhibitions, and as a sales trainer, and it's a very old school expression, but they say that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So we should be talking 1/3 of the time, and listening 2/3 of the time. And when we do that, we become more credible business people and we get greater results from it. I hope step 6 has been of some help. It's Stephen